Hi everyone, I hope you all. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Bitcoin once again. Thank you for your support. Okay, big up the CoinsKid crew. So this indicator here, this is called the Bollinger Bands. You can find it in indicators in Bollinger Band, and I think it's the third one down. And with that, you drop it into your charts. It's a free indicator, and you can see here when you hit the top, you come down to the bottom. You know, and usually in an uptrend, you do usually hold this orange line, which is called the middle of the Bollinger Band. Okay, it's a median line of the Bollinger, and usually in a sustained upwards move, you do hold it as support. Okay, and you can look at that. You're getting really far away, and when you come back to it next time, you sort of hold it and then you lost it and came back down to the Bollinger. You actually pierced that there, and you had that capitulation event. When was that? In May last year. Okay, almost a year ago, Bitcoin capitulated down there. So, you know, you can see that once you're below this Bollinger, okay, the median line, the middle line, the orange line, then you're in a downtrend effectively. Look, the next time you tested it as resistance, you actually got through it, hit the top of the Bollinger, come back to support, and you're confirming that breakout just there. Okay, so to be in a big impulsive move, you have to be above that. Whilst you're underneath it, you are in a downtrend on that time frame with your Bollinger Band. So you can see what's happening now. You're being forced down. Okay, you broke out here, you came back to its support, you failed to hold it at support, and right now you're closing underneath it. So technically it looks as though Bitcoin's trying to come down to the bottom of the Bollinger Band right now. Okay, technically it looks like that's its target if you take a look at this particular indicator, but it doesn't always hit the bottom of the Bollinger Band. Okay, even though it's under the middle and the bottom's there, it doesn't always hit it. And the same if it's above the middle, it doesn't always, you know, confirm target at the top. But what you're getting here, if you can look closely, you're getting the top, okay, and the bottom are beginning to compress basically. And like I've said to you, price compression and, you know, indicator as well. You've got the Gaussian, you've got this Bollinger Band. There's so many different indicators. You're getting compression. Compression leads to expansion. Okay, now there's absolutely zero guarantees of which way the expansion goes. You trade accordingly, but there is something that's happening here where we're getting compression. Okay, so something's going to give, something is going to break here. You know, is it going to be a push to the upside and everyone's really bearish, or are we actually going to roll here and capitulate down? Okay, you know, and if capitulation is opportunity in my opinion, because any time that we do capitulate, it's opportunity. So what I'm going to do is show you the capitulation targets and take a note in your notebook right now. Okay, so for example, if we're getting this compression here, which we are, you can see on the 5-day time frame, we're getting this kind of compression. If we do start to come down and we start to lose this Bollinger Band at the bottom, there's a high probability that you're gonna pierce through it. Okay, like you did here. Look, you come down to it, and then you pierce through it, and you get that capitulation. You know, if you do start to do that again, look, you pierce through it, you got capitulation last May there. Now, if May does turn out to be a very bearish month for crypto, okay, and we have one last rug pull, and it's the end of this correction, and we come down, we get this capitulation here, and we get this compression. Okay, price compression coupled with the Bollinger Band compressing, because like I said to you, compression leads to expansion. Okay, there's some direction that's going to break out basically. You know, there's no confirmation of breakout to the upside or to the downside. It is what it is. Okay, but if it does break down, I'm going to give you my target and the reason why it's my target. Okay, now obviously we've got all this key support from last year. Okay, and I don't necessarily think that's going to be easy to fall through. You've got this support here as well so far 2021. You know, 4 months running we've held this low just there, but anything can happen. We can fall down, but I would imagine a lot of people will be putting bids on at 30k, so you potentially see some kind of little rug pull and then back up, and you know, something like that, who knows. But anyway, if there was a huge crash and we did capitulate and we did something like we did here where we've got the corona dump, you know, this unforeseeable black swan, you know, or you know, we're getting this compression here like we did in this bear market, we're getting really tight. I mean, look at the price compression. We're not necessarily getting the price compression, but we are getting the Bollinger Bands compressing like they did there. Okay, but this is, to me, this is not necessarily price compression. If it starts to fizzle out like that, then yeah, you know, you've got this small little descending triangle there, you'll get compressed and then you come out of it. But if there is some kind of, you know, nuclear strike or virus 2.0 or something like that, and we do get this big black swan and this big capitulation event here, you know, like we got in Corona 2020, if that does happen, then your target is going to be the 2 fib. Okay, and I do think that that's where you'll be fruitful putting some bids in. You capitulate and you start to come back up with almost immediate effect like you did there. Okay, and that could happen in May, who knows. But if it does, that's your target. Okay, it's not a 100% target from me, it's a capitulation target. And a lot of people say, well, why that target? And I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so on this channel I don't just pull targets out my arse, you know, like a lot of people do and a lot of channels do, without any technical answer to back it up. I show you why that is a target. Capitulation is always on the 2 fib for me at a bare minimal. I've gone through this with you before, but if you're new to the channel, you can see that you come up impulsively and you retrace into this low. And at this point last year, I said to you, okay, let me get rid of the Bollinger Band at the moment. I said to you just there that if you lose this low just there, your minimal target is capitulation, it's the 2 fib, and equally this swing low. And I'll show you exactly how you get that target. So that's your high. You came down, okay, so this is your reversal wave. You come up and then you're coming back down and you lost this low. So your 2 fib was your target. And look at that, it came down, held it, and started to come back up. Okay, so you know the CoinsKid crew were putting bids on that 2 fib. Okay, job done. So here the Corona dump just there. Personally, I wasn't putting bids on the 2-bit fib. I was putting bids on the 1.618, to be honest with you. But you know, both was fruitful. Either, if you'd have found a 2 fib, fantastic. We just did a 1.618. You can see that you lost this low. You came up impulsively, and then you're retracing, and you lost the low. You 1.618. It was a minimal target. We actually capitulated to the 2 fib just there. Okay, for Bitcoin. Similar scenario here. You came up impulsively and correctively, and this was your last swing high, where you come back to this high and lost it, and then boom, you was down on the 2 fib. You consolidated underneath. You started to come back up in that ascending triangle right on that fib, right, you see that, and you got that bullish ascending triangle just there, level accumulation, came up, broke out, see you later, impulsive move to the upside. Okay, so if there is capitulation, I've shown you 3 instances there where we would have found a 2 fib there, and there. Okay, so right now, you know, I'm not bullshitting you, hopium with a target or anything like that, but if there is capitulation, if this is the high, okay, and we start to come down and we lose this low that we created for ourselves, and we start to pierce through the Bollinger Bands, because you're getting that compression, and if it is a big correction that's on our cards, you know, and everyone's trying to pluck figures out the sky, this would be my target. Okay, pure capitulation would be down there, and that would be an amazing entry point. At that point you start to come back up. Okay, now from that, if that does occur as well, I'm going to show you where you're looking at coming up to, at least in the next up cycle. You would be looking at 137k each Bitcoin price tag, nominal. Okay, you might even get overextended to the 2 fib just there. Now a lot of people are like, oh bullshit, you know, hopium and all that, you know, but I would have been telling you exactly the same. Now I'm not conclusively 100% saying you're going to do this. This is a possible scenario if you do capitulate and you start to fall through that Bollinger Band just there. Okay, you're getting the compression, and the compression's always indicative precursor to expansion. So if we do start to sort of roll here and come down and we lose these lows, especially this 1 fib, like I've said to you, you're going to lose these lows and you're going to roll and you're going to capitulate, and big sell off. Okay, not that there's been loads of selling already, but anyway, you know, that's a different story. But if we do capitulate here and we start to come down and lose a 1 fib, you know, and we start to fall through these fibs as well, then that would be my capitulation target, and I've shown you why. Okay, because it always goes to 2 fib capitulation. But anyway, that's a big if, isn't it? Everything's a big if, I've taught you that. But the other scenario here is right here, okay, that if Bitcoin right now breaks above this Bollinger Band, okay, and we go in the direction which most of us actually want, I'll show you right now. So if the Bollinger Band does actually break to the upside, and we get this compression right now, and we get this expansion to the upside, I want to show you what I'm looking at, and I did go through this with you in yesterday's video. Your next impulsive move for me is a bare minimal, the 1618 at $56,000 basically. But I want to show you what that indicates here on the 5-day time frame. It's a very bullish statement for Bitcoin to do that, because at the moment, one thing we do need to pay attention to is the 5-day Gaussian channel. Okay, so you're down in the bottom end of the 5-day Gaussian. Okay, now it's gone red as well. Okay, now you can see that if Bitcoin right now we get that expansion on the Gaussian, okay, like on the Bollinger Band, sorry, we're getting that compression and we get that expansion to the upside when everyone's really fearful and really bearish at key support. If it does happen and it does occur, you can see how Bitcoin here could come up, get back above this median line, okay, of the Gaussian on the 5-day, start to come up and sort of break out this top end of the Gaussian channel on the 5-day time frame. Now historically, whenever Bitcoin has gone red on the 5-day Gaussian in a bear market, it has never gotten above the medium line, okay, or even the top line of the 5-day Gaussian without saying I'm bullish. Okay, look, you went red here, and then what happened when you got above? You broke out, back test, boom, impulsive move. Here, broke out, back test, you was up there, wasn't you, for Bitcoin? So historically, it's always been an amazing thing when on the 5-day time frame, whenever you've gone red, okay, like for example, if you do start to fall out of it, you're looking at capitulation. But if you start to come up, okay, at any point when it goes red, it's brilliant. It's an amazing signal. So let's keep an eye on this going forward, okay? There's absolutely zero guarantees, but there is a guarantee here that we are getting some kind of compression on the price, which is going to lead to expansion. Okay, so let's keep an eye on this. Now we've got 1 day, 15 hours for the 5-day Gaussian to close back inside this, because historically, again, if Bitcoin closes below the Gaussian on the 5-day time frame, if it ever closes below that, you are always looking at some kind of capitulation. Look, boom, down there, just there, you start to close out above, boom, you rolled and you had capitulation. So you've got that sort of signal at the moment sitting at the bottom of the Gaussian, coupled with the Bollinger Band price compression leading to expansion, basically. So let's keep an eye on this. Again, if you close below this, very negative. If you start to break out here and come up and you break out above the Gaussian and you come to these targets that I'm giving you, you know, onwards and upwards, you've got 56k, you've got the 2 fib as well. If you're breaking out of the 5-day Gaussian and you start to fall back and hold this as support, you know, this top end of the Gaussian, that's an extremely bullish thing for Bitcoin to do, okay? And it means your correction's over. It wasn't necessarily a bear market. It's a big correction phase of a bull market, because at that point here, you know, optimal entry point for Bitcoin. But again, nothing to say is financial advice, okay? But it's something's giving. Something's going to happen relatively soon, because the Bollinger Bands on a 5-day time frame are showing we're getting compression, okay? So, and usually compression leads to expansion. So that's a little update for you on Bitcoin. You know, I wish I could tell you conclusively which way it's going to go, okay? But one thing to think about is, you know, technically on chain, Bitcoin extremely bullish. The hash rate is the highest it's ever been. So the network's the most secure it's ever been. And equally, on-chain analysis is extremely bullish. Whales are stacking like crazy. Why they're stacking? You know, usually you see that in accumulation right before run-up. Again, nothing is financial advice. Everything is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Okay, take care, everyone. Back to another update on Bitcoin. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye bye.